So starting from brain, you got into spirituality and you also got into TM. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I got into spirituality because, first of all, I loved life, so life is spiritual. So that was easy. The second thing is, I remember I was in the laboratory one night, graduate school, and I realized that society had given me enough education to realize that things were broken, right? That all this education was like not helping much of anybody, okay? I mean, there's a lot of good intentions in the world, but not much was working, and it doesn't look good for the future. And I was part of the future, so I had to make a decision. I had to find something, and it wasn't what I already told me. So I already knew what they told me. All these different fields, sewing, cooking, biology, biochemistry, quantum mechanics. I had courses in that, okay?
Right.
Not in the sewing, I learned that on my own. But what happened is that I realized there's another level of knowledge out there, and so I started looking around. And I tried this thing, and I not necessarily physically tried it, but I read about this, read about that. And then I ran into TM, Transcendental Meditation.
So was there some opposition regarding it, because traditional science does not go hand in hand with spirituality?
Well, remember, I had made a decision that traditional science didn't know what the heck they were doing.
Okay.
Here, I mean, they had modus operandi, and they had ideas, and they had intentions, and they're all good people.
Right.
But they're as ignorant as everybody else.
Right.
They just talk good and have very good rationale, and they have labels, and but they're like everybody else, right? Maybe not as corrupt as the politicians, but they have some corruption too. I mean, it's the whole idea is that everybody is doing the best they can
to contribute.
But there had to be something else out there that I was not given in my education.
Right.
So I was seeking that. And I was living in a community where it was pretty hot stuff. So it wasn't hard to find it. I didn't have to go searching much. It was like everywhere. It just hadn't been in my life. So.
Right. So starting with TM, what was the first effect that you personally experienced, and then you started telling everyone about it?
My first experience was unbelievable. Now, not everybody has an unbelievable experience, but I had an unbelievable experience. Okay. I mean, on many levels. I mean, it was just like, whoa, this thing's pretty amazing.
Right.
You know, I had great. I expected it to be working because I figured everything they said was good, but I didn't expect what I got. It was fantastic, and it's just been fantastic ever since. Everything keeps growing. So, I mean, everybody has their own unique experiences, but mine were very fulfilling and very opening. I mean, it's like, whoa, there's some stuff out here, you know, and there's some stuff I can know.
So, talking of experiences, you know, compared to other meditative practices, how is TM easier and like far more opening than other practices?
Yeah. Most practices deal with the surface of the ocean. And the surface of the ocean either has ripples or it has giant waves, but it's always active and it's bouncing around. But regardless of how big the surface is of the ocean, if you go deep enough in the ocean, there's nothing happening. It's silent. So that silence is in everybody. It's in me, you, everybody. Anybody walking the street, whether they meditate or even know that meditation exists, it's in there.
Right.
They live on the surface, all the stress and strain and worries and concerns and doing this and thinking and so forth. But they don't have the experience of that silence. They should, because that inner silence is, first of all, the source of who they are. It's the source of all their thoughts, the source of all their creativity and happiness. In other words, that's the bank. And they're out here in the marketplace with their little coins trying to figure out how to live life, when actually the whole bank's inside. Yeah. So most forms of meditation, and it's just time. Time does this. Over time, things get lost and misinterpreted. And so all these meditations are well-intended, but they're all surface.
Right.
Now, occasionally something will drop in, and they go, wow, I had an experience. But, you know, good luck in a lifetime, okay?
Right.
So the idea here is that TM is a systematic approach to go from the surface waves, which we enjoy life in, and just spontaneously and actually dip into that silence and experience that inner calm, that inner source of thought. And that changes life, because when you dip into that silence with the mind, it takes the brain with it. And the brain gets very deep and quiet, gets very orderly. In fact, the most orderly we've ever seen in modern science. Right. And when the brain gets more orderly, it works better. So in other words, everybody has huge potential, but we're not using it because we've never wired the brain to use it.